Autism is a complex disorder and it is a behavioral diagnosis. And there are no medical tests that confirms this diagnosis, and there could be multiple underlying issues leading to this condition. That's why it is a puzzle and takes motivated parents, a supportive school and society, a loving family, and a passionate physician helping to put the different pieces of the puzzle in place. In this video, we will discuss the different underlying reasons that can play a part in ASD. And we recommend you to watch the entire video to ensure you do not miss out on any specifics. Potential underlying causes in autism coming up. This video is brought to you by Good Health Corner. At Good Health Corner, we bring research health information in a simplified manner that is easy to understand. If you like what you see here, we request you to support us by clicking the like, subscribe and the bell button. This will ensure that you get notified every time we release a video. Disclaimer: the health statements made in this video and the site are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure or prevent any disease. They are solely for informational purposes. Always consult your doctor before implementing any treatment protocol. Let's understand the autism puzzle. The logo of autism is a puzzle piece, and each piece of the puzzle represents different issues. The quest of any special needs parent or doctor working on autistic kids is to find the right puzzle piece which can potentially solve the mystery behind the condition in the child. And the pieces of this puzzle could be from many origins. A child on the autism spectrum can have many underlying issues like impaired detoxification pathways, high oxidative stress causing cellular damage, food intolerance and diet, infections of viral, bacterial, fungal and parasitic origin, exposure to environmental toxicity and heavy metals, undetected trauma to the brain, compromised gut health, and genetic expressions making an individual more susceptible to a specific condition. This is not an exhaustive list, and there could be many more underlying causes, but these are the most common ones. And in the coming sections, we will discuss each of these areas and what we can do to help. All these are interconnected in a way, and it's difficult to see them in isolation. Let's start with detoxification. Most of the children in the autism spectrum disorder are found to have impaired detoxification pathways. The main detoxification organs of the body are the liver, kidneys, skin, and the intestine. Genetic mutations may impair the detoxification pathways, resulting in one-way toxins entering the body but not able to leave. And at the center of any detoxification, you have methylation. Methylation is required for the body to clear environmental toxins like ammonia and also heavy metals like arsenic. In cases of genetic mutations resulting in non-optimal detoxification, understanding genes, your genetic makeup, and the use of targeted supplements and foods can help to bypass the blockages and help the body to detoxify. For example, ammonia is a toxic compound produced by the body. An impaired methylation pathway hinders ammonia detoxification. Ammonia can cause damage to the brain and the liver. And nutrigenomics can help here. Nutrigenomics is the study of how nutrition can impact genes and help in prevention of diseases. And the applicability of nutrigenomics can have a profound effect on helping the body to detoxify and heal. Let's talk about high oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is caused by free radicals. These are also called reactive oxygen species and bear a positive charge due to an uneven number of electrons. And oxidative stress is caused when there is an excess of these free radicals than the amount of antioxidants in the body. The role of antioxidants is to neutralize these free radicals. Oxidative stress is at the root of most chronic illnesses, and it creates a wide-scale cellular and DNA damage and creates inflammation in the body. And if this inflammation becomes chronic, can lead to serious illnesses. Inflammation can have its root in diverse underlying issues. The human body produces some potent antioxidants, for example, like glutathione or superoxide dismutase. An impairment in the production of these antioxidants can also lead to oxidative stress. Environmental toxins and heavy metals inhibit proper cellular functions and can lead to oxidative stress and damage the body. And in addition, infections of various origins like viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungus all contribute to oxidative stress. Particularly mold and mycotoxins can create havoc oxidative stress. In such cases, we need to figure out the source, eradicate it, and help the body with antioxidants from foods, supplements, and also help the body to generate its own antioxidant defense. Now, let's talk about food intolerance and diet. Food has a profound role to play in mental health. Our gut is also called the second brain, and the foods that we eat have a direct impact on our gut health. There are certain classes of foods which are known to create inflammation and are known to be difficult to be digested by the body. And foods with gluten, casein, soy, and sugar all fall in this category. Let's understand gluten. Gluten is a protein that's found in foods like wheat and barley. It contains a signature called alpha-gliadin, which is a known stressor of the immune system and is associated with celiac and other GI conditions. Let's talk casein. Similarly, casein is a protein from milk, which is also difficult to be digested. For example, the protein in cow's milk and goat's milk are 8 and 6 times larger than the size of proteins in human milk. And this leads to difficulty in processing these proteins by the human body. Sugar. Sugar is a highly inflammatory food. Indulgence in food loaded with sugar leads to our pancreas pumping more insulin for the sugar to be escorted to the cells. And over a period of time, this leads to insulin resistance, causing type 2 diabetes. Other foods. In addition to these, there are other food categories that are also to be cautious about. For example, foods that are high in oxalates can form kidney stones, and having high oxalic acid in the body can result in extreme pain. In addition to these, foods high in salicylates are also best to be avoided. Foods with high fermentable carbs, also called high FODMAP foods, can cause bloating, gas, and stomach pain. Chemicals and dyes which are found in foods like candies can cause issues in these sensitive kids. Many of the kids on the spectrum are intolerant of these foods. And it is best to get a food intolerance test and a food allergy test done so that you can identify and keep the stresses out. In many cases, changing the diet has led to miraculous changes in these kids. Let's understand infections. Another very common underlying condition for kids on the spectrum are infections. And infections could be of various origins: viruses, bacteria, fungus, or parasites. Virus. Due to various underlying issues leading to a compromised immune condition, these infections wholly take control over the body. And viruses like EBV, CMV, and HHV6 and 7 are seen in many of these kids. Lyme disease. Borrelia is a bacteria that is responsible for Lyme disease. And there is an increasing prevalence of Lyme and co-infections in autism kids. The most common co-infections which come with Lyme are Babesia, Bartonella, Mycoplasma, and Chlamydia. Bacteria. H. pylori is a bacteria that lives in the GI tract and causes a very acidic condition, and is capable of causing stomach ulcers and in some cases even cancer. Another bacterium found commonly is Streptococcus. Strep normally causes strep throat and fever, but is also capable of causing a neuropsychiatric condition called PANDAS. PANDAS stands for Pediatric Autoimmune Neuropsychiatric Disorder associated with Streptococcus infection. This condition is associated with a sudden change in behavior, aggression, OCD, and tics. There is another syndrome called PANS, which stands for Pediatric Acute Onset Neuropsychiatric Syndrome. The symptoms of PANS are similar to PANDAS, but the cause of this condition is not linked to strep, but is linked to other infections. And in PANS, infections like Mycoplasma, Borrelia, Babesia, etc. can play a role. The yeast beast. Some fungus stays in the gastrointestinal tract as commensal flora. These fungal strains like Candida albicans becomes opportunistic and can cause deep-rooted fungal infections when the immune system is weak. Candida albicans is found as a co-infection with heavy metals, infections of bacterial and viral origins, and also with parasites. Yeast is a chronic issue with these kids and needs long-term treatment. Mold can cause systemic infection that leads to major immune dysfunction. And it is important to use binders to bind with mold and excrete it from the body. Parasites. Lastly, there could be parasites in the body that could be holding on to these infections and toxicity. These parasites hold on to harmful bacteria, viruses, fungus, and other toxic substances like heavy metals. And getting rid of these parasites are important to rid the body of these chronic stressors. First, it is important to identify these infections through the right lab tests and then treating them under supervision of a doctor aware of such infections. Environmental toxicity and heavy metals. We are exposed to environmental toxins every moment. The air is full of toxins like benzene, asbestos, and heavy metals like cadmium, mercury, etc. All these toxins are very harmful to the body and if not excreted properly can lead to significant oxidative stress leading to oxidative damage and can even cause cancer. In addition to this, there has been a significant increase in the usage of heavy metals in different industries and products that we use. Out of all the heavy metals, aluminium, mercury, lead, cadmium and arsenic are the most common and notorious ones. The way to remove these heavy metals from the body is through chelation. Chelation is a process where an agent which has an affinity to bind to these heavy metals are introduced into the body. Then these agents bind with the heavy metals and leave the body either through stool or urine. The body also produces glutathione, which is responsible for the detoxification of metals. Testing for this visual. And using supplements to increase the production of glutathione also helps in the excretion of metals. Important point to note. Please never do chelation by yourself. Instead, consult a doctor who is aware of safe chelation protocols and do it under medical guidance. Let's understand trauma to the brain. Many of the symptoms of autism could also be coming from undetected trauma to the brain. It may have happened during the birthing process or at a later stage, or can be due to infection or toxicity impacting the brain. Any trauma to the brain will result in inflammation of the brain, which we see in most of the kids, and along with it comes high oxidative stress. Most regressive autism is a result of insult to the brain in some form, leading to declining cognition and speech. And it is important to find out the root cause of the insult to the brain, treat the underlying conditions, be it infection or toxicity, and then focus on how to heal the brain with foods, supplements, medicines, and therapies. And I believe in these cases we should try to learn from other similar conditions like stroke or traumatic brain injuries and research what has shown promise in treating these conditions. Including therapies like hyperbaric oxygen and PEMF help in these conditions to improve oxygenation and circulation. And of course, including supplements that are known to improve circulation and supporting neuronal growth can help an injured brain. Let's talk compromised gut health. The gut is considered the second brain. The gut plays a very important role in the absorption of nutrients, producing chemicals that are required for many biochemical functions in the body, supporting a healthy immune system by keeping a healthy balance of microbial flora, and has crucial roles to play in the proper functioning of all the organs of the body. And having pathogenic or opportunistic bacteria in the gut leads to disruption of the balance of the gut microbiome. This can lead to stomach ulcers, pain, bloating, etc. Opportunistic microbes take advantage of this disruption and can add further insult to the gut by creating deep-rooted infections. And yeast, like Candida albicans, fall in this category. When we have a dysbiotic gut, we lack the good microbes which are responsible for the creation of various enzymes, helping in the digestion of food, producing chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, which are required by the brain and the body, and keeping the opportunistic pathogens under check. A lack of which makes the immune system very weak. And this can lead to gut inflammation and leaky gut syndrome. Chronic inflammation can lead to declining health, including mental health. Let's understand genetics. Last, we come to the genes. We are all born with certain DNA. And think of this DNA as a car that you have inherited to last a lifetime. Someone could have received a car with few issues, while some others might have received a car with some significant issues. But if we know the mechanical issues of our car, we can maintain them in a way that it lasts properly a lifetime without giving any significant problems. SNPs or SNPs or single nucleotide polymorphism are genetic variations. These are single changes in the DNA that can alter the ability of the DNA to function. Now, think of these mutations as slight imperfections in your car, and these imperfections will differ from car to car and from your DNA to someone else's. Think for a moment that you're driving a car from point A to point B, and your GPS tells you that there is a roadblock or accident ahead, for which you will need to take an alternate route. And this alternate route takes you to the same destination. In this example, think of the route as a biochemical pathway in the body, the mutation as a roadblock, and the alternate path as the remedy. It is important to understand these slight imperfections or SNPs and try to understand their impact and pathway where they are located and how to bypass it with a proven remedy. And nutrigenomics looks into these and helps us to identify the SNPs and find remedies through nutritional sources. Doing a DNA test can throw a lot of light and help you to have a very precise plan to work on. In conclusion, it is not an easy thing to understand the underlying factors in autism. And to be honest, this is the case for all invisible illnesses. And one needs to be motivated and do continuous research to understand what could be playing in the background. As parents, we need to learn, research and understand, and then have a meaningful conversation on treatment protocols with the doctors. We need to evaluate the risks and balance the odds. And they will be able to guide you better if you're able to provide them with more information.